my
glasses on.
throat is a little sore.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're just kind of commiserating as
Yeah.
we're all a little under the weather, except for Joseph. Joseph
throat's sore.
is, like the Green Lantern. He just doesn't ever get sick, apparently. But
Or he's Wolverine and he
or he's
recovers immediately. Yeah.
Where's Wolverine? But I am not. So I'm a little under the weather. So if you hear that in my voice, apologies. I think I had my first migraine, and I now have respect for anyone who has chronic migraines because that is not fun.
No.
But I think Bobby's a little bit under the weather as well.
My throat's sore because when you work in a place that there's hundreds of hands touching things, there's just germs everywhere. So that warehouse is not a place for someone that's OCD or like a germaphobe.
Dude, remember when we worked at Apple and we had to clean?
Yeah.
Dude, I can't even, like, thinking back on that, like, that's crazy because that's so dirt. I mean, you have like all walks
gross.
of life in New York City just touching and holding
It's
and
gross. Yeah.
caressing, and those back IMAX.
Yeah, and how did we get to work? The subway, which is just
it is kind of
petri dish. So,
I do have to admit though, those backstage areas were the cleanest I've ever seen.
Well, once you got downstairs, I'm talking about the floor though.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, back where we, you live, I think it was fine. It was, they had people there cleaning 24/7,
Mm-hmm.
but the floor itself could get a little grimy, right? Just because of the nature of the game, right? You have people coming and touching and being encouraged to touch, and then you have the frequent flyer mile people who are men and women of the streets using these as a resource, not looking to make a purchase.
Yep.
They're definitely, their bodies are going through all over the parts of New York City. So
they're just collecting every infestation you could ever.
Bro, I would love to have a conversation one day about that topic because dude, it's interesting. And this is, ladies and gentlemen, this is not what we're going to discuss, but just as like an aside, like I was explaining this to a friend, like if you lived in New York for any period of time, I'm not a native New Yorker by any stretch. But I lived there long enough where you see the patterns.
You did your time.
I did my time.
Yeah.
And like homeless are a thing. Like and in New York, you live amongst them, right? It's not like they're in these certain pockets where you just stay away from those areas and you live amongst them. And no harm, no foul. It's just, it is what it is. But it is interesting, like in New York, because it is unique because it's a walking city. Like there are the places that are like the homeless hangouts. And it's like, if you've lived in New York for any length of time, you know them. Like if you're going to go to the library, be comfortable sitting next to someone who has maybe 300 newspapers in a trash bag, like, and is maybe speaking to himself. It's going to happen.
Yeah.
But it's also interesting. You go to an Apple store of all places, and you go to those back iMac computers. The best computers with the biggest screens are usually taken up by streets.
The smells, my God, the smells. The smells is what do it for me.
It's kind of fascinating. I kind of like it because it's kind of like it's just part of New York. Like even the managers allow it. Like they don't kick you out as long as you're not being ridiculous. They let you stay, which is
but
insane.
They're looking up weird shit online too. It's true, Joe.
Dude, usually they're looking at pornography.
Yeah, that's part of it. But they're also like chatting with people,
like music videos.
Yeah,
I mean, they're doing the same things that most people are doing, right? They're on YouTube and checking their email.
They're doing. It's funny. They're doing
like they're checking their email.
What I'm gonna do later tonight.
Correct.
They're like, you might see me going down a H&A's rabbit hole.
Yeah.
That's what they're doing in public.
I mean, no different. It's kind of a fascinating thing that like we live in a society where, like, if you're homeless, man, a lot of homeless people have iPhones or have some form of smartphone. They connect to the internet. They got email addresses,
and you got a bathroom there if you need to use it. They let them
MySpace. They have all the same doodads. They just don't have showers, which is kind of that's a business right there, guys. Like, we got to provide that service.
They could sneak into some kind of a gym, though. That's what I would think, Joe. You're a gym guy, both of you.
No.
Dude, can you like slip in there? I know, like
I
probably
don't think you could
Equinox
slip
can.
in, but if you
Yeah.
could afford a membership for
Yeah.
a cheap gym,
Yeah.
I mean, you could
And that I
probably.
don't see.
Yeah, I don't see that too often. But there's probably some guys. Remember, there's not a lot of the homeless are in a world of their own. Then you have the smart homeless that are hard on their, like, life is throwing them a curveball, but they're pretty, like, I mean, we met some of those guys at the Apple store who, like, if you could have a conversation with them,
I talked to him.
they're with it. It's just a matter of, like, they had like a string of bad luck,
Mm-hmm.
and they know how to, like, where to go, what to do to play the game. It's unfortunate though that that's not the majority. The majority are people who are just not. They're in their own reality.
Yeah. You know what is the grossest place in New York City? I'll tell you. Any
Joe's like, this is not the
public-
topic I brought up to discuss.
Yeah. Any public park. Go into the bathroom of
Ugh.
of a public park.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about. Woo! The shit I've seen in there, literally, it's I don't even want to think about it. I try to erase it, but there's some things you can't unsee, guys.
I mean, no,
Yeah.
those things are burned into the deep recesses of your imagination.
Yeah, trying to use the bathroom at any public park in New York City. Good luck. Good luck to you.
I mean, you can use it. It's just you're gonna enter into the netherworld
Yeah.
for a few minutes, and also do not ever wear sandals because you're entering
man.
a swamp.
You'll
land.
catch them. Yeah,
There's
you'll
the swamp
catch 'em.
thing is living in there. Sorry, turn it
Yeah.
down a little
Speaking
bit.
of being ill, you'll catch something easily.
Okay, so pivoting, Joseph, what are we talking about today?
Actually, Rob brought it up a couple of weeks ago. I've watched this F1 trailer with Brad Pitt.
Yeah.
And
Nah, not a fan.
It was, I don't know what you're thinking, because that trailer was amazing.
Yeah, it's a cool movie. I'm sure. But go, sorry. Go ahead. Yeah.
But we just got to talking about, like, just being accurate in terms of what kind of content you're covering. So I wanted to go over, like, how movies and just content in general, like TV shows, how should they be accurate to the source material, or should they try to adapt to the times? Curious to see how you guys think about this subject, and then go from there.
Yeah, no, then I like this topic actually. It's an we're basically gonna do for the audience. Also, we're gonna say it. I caught myself. Hit the like button.
Boom.
Smash that subscribe button. Put the comments in. Support Chris Corvo's channel. Put it in.
Yeah, and whatever comments you put in, you know that Avery will be there in a heartbeat to do
Yeah.
battle with you. So
I will reply.
if you want to have a little online
Discourse.
fisticuffs,
Yeah.
just get ready.
Yeah, but run up those like buttons. So
Go ahead. So Joe, like, it's pretty much like we want to hit on this idea, like staying true to the source material
yep.
versus like
Kind of adapting to the times,
taking like a lot of liberties. And I know like Avery wanted to do the whole like DEI rabbit hole. That's that elixir, that stew that just gets everyone riled up and ready to go.
It's a big topic these days.
Joe, you looking big, man. Did you set up your camera? I know, I did. I'm just saying, man. All I got is like I'm looking at just like biceps, just staring right at me. Come on,
look at he looks
look
hench.
at this dude.
Hench is the word.
Your upper body is like 80% bicep.
Yeah.
You don't even got chest in there. It's just like two biceps right next to each other.
You have a dog shit tattoo, though,
Like
but
your New York skyline is just getting wider and wider. You're gonna have to change it to like Dubai or something. Like it's getting too big. You got to add some more buildings on it.
Oh God, no more tattoos for me.
All right, so all right, this is a good topic because there's a lot of. I mean, in the last like 10 years. Maybe less. I feel like there's no movie that's made that is not based off of something. Like ain't no one writing scripts anymore. Original scripts.
Original stories.
They are,
correct.
but it's either
few and far between.
Yes, I would say they are, but it's not being greenlit, or it's going mostly to TV.
All right, fair. So maybe they're being made. People are still writing them, but like the
It's
consuming audience is really not seeing them. We're seeing
exactly.
Yeah. So
you
Joe,
know,
what
a
do you think
retelling.
is the reason for that is?
I think these studios are too afraid to put out like original material.
It's
They
too
think,
risky financially.
yeah, financially, they don't want to spend 50 to 100 million plus dollars on a movie that no one knows of because they think no one's gonna want to see it.
But what I don't understand. I hear you, but I don't understand because like it's not like there's a long legacy of like we grew. So let's say we're in our late 30s, right? Like we
Mhm.
grew up through the movies of the 80s, the 90s, the 2000s. Like all these movies were original movies for the most part. They were like the blockbuster was our generation.
Mhm.
So like why have they
Exactly.
pivoted away from it? Because they made so much money off of Bad Boys and Armageddon. Like these
Top
were not,
Gun.
yeah, these
Yeah.
weren't based off of like books or comic books.
Nope.
They're original.
Uh-huh.
I think it grew into that period. Like the 80s and 90s were definitely more. You could see it coming. Like there was a lot more stuff being adapted, but it wasn't more of there's still a lot of original material coming out, but the 2000s kind of flipped that switch. You got to see a lot more movies and TV series become adapted from books or comics or be sequels from decades
Yeah.
prior,
Or reboots. Yeah.
remakes. Yep,
Yeah.
remakes from decades prior. So it's just a little bit of the laziness and really more bottom line thinking of Hollywood in general.
So you
Go ahead,
think
Rob.
so you think the studios? I'm inclined to agree actually, but I want to hammer this home. Uh, so you think this is all basically relegated by or regulated is the right word, not relegated. Regulated by money. I'm
Yes.
sorry, I'm pissed off.
Yeah, no, I
You know
know you
why
are. Yeah.
I'm on tonight. I'm gonna have a generational head loss tonight. We'll talk about it's sports related, Chris. So yeah, but
Sport
we'll talk
ball.
about that tonight. This is all regulated by like finances
Mhm.
and the studios. So that's why.
Yeah, but here's the thing. So like, okay, so Joe, I feel like you are. I mean, maybe probably you and Avery, but I think you, Joe, you kind of like are in the thick of it when it comes to like Hollywood, the studios. Would you say that's accurate?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised you're not either because you
I'm
were
not.
the actor out of
Yeah.
the three of
Yeah.
us.
Yeah, I'm not at all actually. That's why like I'll give it to you because I really am not like from a business standpoint. Because I guess my question is like, is it that like okay, so like Goodwill
Mhm.
Hunting made a lot of money,
Mhm.
but it was like
Phenomenal movie.
great movie, right? But like that's a Weinstein movie, FYI.
Mhm.
Yeah, we could get into that too.
Oh God, no! Please no.
Yeah.
But I mean, it took some vision on the producer's part to be like, I think we have a hit,
Mhm.
right? Because there's no algorithm that would say that it's a good movie. It's just like a human being who reads the script and is like, this is awesome. Like this could be
Yeah.
something, right? So these
Mhm.
movies made lots of money. Like the blockbusters of when we were younger, like great movies. Hollywood made lots of money. So I guess my is it just that the people like the wave of people has changed and now they're more like we have formulas and you have to follow the formula and if it
That's what I
deviates
think.
from the formula,
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
I think so too. I think
Because I feel like that was like the 50s too. I feel like if you go back, you kind of get into the same, like the Ben Hur time
yeah,
period. I
those
think it was also
epics.
formulaic. Like
Yeah.
we have a leading man, we have the leading woman. They're going to have this. It's like the plot points were all very like standard.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of these executives think that, and it's somewhat true too. There's so much more distractions for people to go to instead of going to movie theater. The only way they're going to bring out people to the theaters is to have that big spectacle on screen now. And I think they're wrong. I think they need to
I
look.
agree.
They need to look at what people like consume and figure out, okay, not everyone wants to go to the movie theater to see a spectacle. They want to be able to see a drama or a comedy in a theater. So it's just is they just have to get out of that mentality that, okay, whatever, if we spend $150 million or $100 million, it needs to make $1 billion for us to really
Oh yeah, to make money, to make profits.
yeah.
Yeah, it's transactional.
So do you think that, like, do you think, like, so I mean that makes sense, right? Because again, I think we've had this conversation. It was under a different umbrella, but like the idea that art versus business, right? Like,
Yes.
it's the entertainment business, right? It's all about making money. We need to know, like, if we outlay this much money to make this movie, we have a strong feeling that we're going to get like that money, double it, triple it, whatever. So it's interesting, like, do you think that bubble is popping? Because think about it, like the Ghostbusters, the remake failed. I think that was I think they lost money on that.
Which one? The all-female one?
The all-female cast.
Yeah,
I'm pretty
that
sure
bombed.
I think it lost money.
It bombed. Yeah.
The Marvel Captain, whatever her name. I know
The Marvels. Yeah, with Captain Marvel. And
Lost
Brie
money.
Larson. I like Brie Larson though. I'll tell you that for
money.
free. Yeah, but that movie stunk.
I don't think you'd enjoy having a conversation with her, but
yeah, but that movie stunk.
and then what you got?
Madam Web was also horrific.
God.
Well, and you got Snow White that just again, right?
Also
I knew
bombed.
I
Little
knew that
one,
was coming up.
but that thing
This
lost.
is part of it.
Yeah.
I think that thing lost a lot of money. Like
it lost like $500 million.
I think it's like historically, it is the worst.
Yeah.
It is the
Yes.
biggest
because they
flop.
spent so much money on it, which is
Yeah.
crazy.
But
And
again,
for
like to your point,
ve-
it's like the
very
more money
cheap.
we spend, the bigger the spectacle, the more the people. And to your point, it's like people are kind of over that. Maybe
I don't think people like the moviegoer cares how much money is spent on it. They just want it to be good. But these companies need to start reining in their budgets, and I personally think that they need to start spending a bit more time being a little bit more faithful to the material. I don't.
what's an
See,
example?
So, I'm trying to think of the best one. Let's go. Let's
I
go with
can tell
Snow
you a
White.
couple.
Go for it.
Well, not film. I'm going television.
Go for it.
Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
And House of the Dragon also went off the rails. George, I'm Team George. He's pissed both times.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Was he unhappy with how they finished the Game of Thrones series?
I can imagine that.
Oh, he detached himself entirely from the project.
Oh, interesting.
And House of the Dragon also went off the rails last season, and he was screaming about it too.
Well, I know, like, also, what is that? The HBO, the zombie movie, the zombie TV show.
The Last of Us.
That's, I think, this season they've kind of started to deviate from the source material, and people are not happy.
Yeah, my brother will like this part of the conversation.
Yeah.
He doesn't like the story because it's not staying true to how the story plays in the video
And
game.
I've heard they've made some very like political choices. I think I didn't watch the second season, but I've heard like you go and there's a lot of people because that game is like one of the most popular games of like the last 10 years. It's like hugely selling game, big like big fan base, and like they're deviating like significantly from that storyline.
Yeah, but why would they do that? Like this is what I don't
That's
get.
exactly
that's to Joe's question. Yeah.
So that's my whole point. Why would you adapt something and then want to take creative liberties with it? Like I get the human condition of trying to make something your own, but make something your own. Don't actually take something else that people love and then try to twist it, and you want to put your own little like 2 cents on it. It makes me unhappy. Yes, it makes me unhappy watching this stuff.
Yeah, no,
because
it riles me up too. It winds me up.
You never know this. Joe doesn't ever appear angry, but his text messaging gets very angry. So that's where you see his true anger.
It's mostly about
unleashed.
About the Giants. And
Oh god!
But go ahead, Joe. Finish your thought.
We'll talk about that tonight too. Did you see his interview, Joe? I'm sorry.
I'm
That's fine.
We're bouncing around here.
Tapped out for now.
This guy Shane is how it's
Yeah, this
pronounced.
is his last name. Yeah,
I hate that guy.
yeah. I
Dude.
don't blame you.
He's getting more annoying as every day passes.
Is this a commentator?
No, this
No,
is
he's
the
he's
general manager.
he's like the personnel decision maker for the New York Giants.
Well,
Yeah.
folks, be aware that
Let's go back
tonight
on topic.
Bobby A will be on fire probably
The
for a good,
flamethrower is coming out.
very
tonight.
good 2 hours. So if you
Yeah.
want to watch someone
Yeah.
become unhinged as he describes New York sports,
Yeah.
join
I'm
his,
gonna
his
snap
live
tonight.
stream because it'll be like.
It's gonna be Ken Shamrock.
Oh God!
But dude, I think it's probably true of sports as well as with entertainment. I think money has always been the goal, but I think people were a little bit more uncomfortable putting that out there. So producers were like, "Oh, we're movie people. Their goal is to make money, and their product is movies." But I think they kind of still had some artistic credibility. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think now it's kind of
No, you're not wrong.
that shit's. It's completely about if I might not even read the script. It's there's an algorithm. We submit the script to it. Does it check these metrics? Okay, put it in that pile. Because it's to your point, Joe, it's why would you change if you're going to use someone else's material and it works? You're choosing it because it worked, right? Especially a video game like The Last of Us. You chose it because it's the most popular video game. It's not like some obscure game. It's a very popular game with a huge fan base. So you know that if you make it, people are going to watch it. So why would you take very big liberties that are going to affect your fan base? They're the ones that are going to pay. They might pay for HBO just to watch your show.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it's the hubris, like you said. Oh, well, I can make it better.
Definitely hubris.
I think
that's a part of it.
But also, I would add another layer to that. I agree with you, Chris. But another layer, I think, is there's pressure from the the money making decisions. They're like, we need to have this factor, this component, this element has to be in this because we want to reach a wider audience. So we have to manipulate the story so that we capture the biggest audience. So that's why they changed the story.
Yeah, I mean, I think that makes sense, especially when it comes to some of when you go into, not DEI is the wrong word, but there's certain hot topics, and then you find them strategically being added to a movie or a TV show where they really don't fit in, but it's almost like a menu. You're okay, well, we got to add at least one of this, we got to add that.
Right, exactly.
It's you're now making decisions that don't make sense within the story. You're just trying to somehow add on features that will, I don't know, increase your audience.
Yeah, no, that's well said. I think that's part of it. It's you want to have you want someone invested, and you want to have as much as wide of an audience as you can, so that's why you cast the widest net possible. But what that does is it, as both of you said, it kind of betrays the actual story itself. So why it comes down to a decision of do we want to get ratings, or do we want to actually stay true to the original tale? Do we want to tell the story for real?
Yeah,
it's really those two. And Joe, I'm going to give this to you. I think this problem was created because of Marvel and DC movies. That's what created this whole shit.
Why do you say that?
Because Marvel movies and DC comic movies, not that I dislike the characters. I only like Batman. Let's have it right. So I think they were such juggernauts financially that it changed the entire industry to what you were saying, Chris, that they manufacture formulaic movies to generate revenue rather than actually tell the story of what the author of the comic said.
I mean, one thing, Joe, I'm gonna jump in and then I'll
go for it.
kick back to you. But one thing I would say is I know you don't like the Marvel movies, but I do think that they did a pretty good job at staying true to the source material
Mm,
and within like Thor. I feel like when I saw him as Thor, I was like,
mhm.
I see Thor. That's
Yeah.
Thor.
Chris
And
Hemsworth
Chris
looks
Hemsworth,
like Thor.
he does.
Yeah, that's true.
And Tony Stark, uh, I thought he did it like that. Robert Downey Jr. That's Iron Man. Like
Mhm.
that's great. So like
Hmm.
I think they did a pretty good job of like maybe they deviated because also Joe, it's like with these storylines for comics,
Just based in the 60s.
there's also so many storylines,
Yep.
right? Like which Iron Man universe are you going to pick
Yeah.
from, right? There's a lot there. So like I feel like they did a good job. I've watched those. I liked those movies. So I enjoyed them, but what I would say is, and maybe they did start this because then they just started pulling all of the source material. Now you have all of these comics. But I think they
Hmm.
actually were good at it. What I'm seeing though is just like movies that are bad. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like other people might be trying to execute on the Marvel business model, but
Yeah.
they are not able to do it. So you just get a lot of trashy movies. Um,
Yeah.
I don't know. Go ahead, Joe.
So, yes, I think you're 100% on that. But I think it was going in that direction before Marvel came into the fray. I think it was really more DC, like in like the 80s with like little Superman movies. But then with the Batman movies, it kind of the flip, the switch kind of got flipped then, and then it went into overdrive in the 2000s, and you started to see everything like Transformers with their stuff.
Yeah.
You saw Lord of the Rings, which was the, in my opinion, the most faithfully adapted like movie you could ever watch,
I would
and
agree. I would
and the
agree.
fans loved that.
Yeah.
I like the Lord of the Rings movies.
And that came
Those
out.
were
I think
good.
that came out before
I think it like either
Iron Man.
99, yeah, it came out in 99 or
19.
Yeah.
2000, 2001, one of those.
It was once. It was once every 2 years, right?
I
The
think,
three of them.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were fantastic. I
Those are
was a
great
huge
movies.
fan of Lord of the Rings, and I was very like I liked what they created.
I never read the books, so do you know, Joe?
Yeah.
Did they adapt it like
They
strictly?
completely to the source material. They might have
Yeah,
tweaked a few
perfect.
things, but
Correct.
a lot of it was definitely to the source material. And I think that's a big problem. Like right now, there's a lot of content creators that are that they either are not fans of the material,
Bingo. That's what I was gonna say.
or they don't, they know what it is, but they don't truly get it. So they want to kind of twist it so that they can get it, or they think that they need to twist it so that the current moviegoers or TV watchers can get it.
Yeah,
And
I
then,
think that's like, dude, that's spot on. I think that's like the biggest thing. Go ahead. Sorry, finish your thought. 'Cause I want to pick back up on that again.
so I think with Marvel, you could see them struggling now because um they're kind of really going away from the source material. They're picking up kernels of stories, but then using that story to do whatever they want to do at that point. And it's really more hiring content creators who are not real fans of the material. They just wanted to do something because it's Marvel, and it's really hurting their image in terms of coming out with good stuff. They haven't come out with anything good, in at least in my opinion, in years,
Yeah.
and that's because they keep hiring directors and writers that are not true fans of the source material, and it's a problem for them.
Yeah, I think that's like a massively good point. Like Witcher, for example. Witcher is
Yeah,
another.
yeah.
It was a book that was translated to to a video
Video
game, and now
game.
a
Yep.
video game to a TV show. And when they cast
Henry Cavill.
Henry Cavill, he was a Witcher fan
Yep.
because he was a gamer. He was like a chubby kid, played video
Is that
games,
the
kind
Superman
of
guy?
Yeah, the
yeah.
Superman guy. Yep.
Um,
The first season was actually
was
really
awesome.
good. It was
Was
really
awesome.
good.
But I think they started to deviate in the second season
Mm-hmm.
because then he asked to leave
Yep.
because he was like, you're going away from
Oh,
this
really?
character."
Yeah.
I respect that.
He like was like, he's like, we're going away from the character. Like we need to fix this. And like I guess they were not open to his suggestions. And I think there's a quote where it's kind of like the person writing it and like the showrunner was like, yeah, I'm making my Witcher, right? This is not
Mm-hmm.
the Witcher. This is my Witcher. And I think that is like there's creative light. I guess that's maybe something we can talk about. It's like, what if you were going to adapt something as the adapter, what is what is the ratio? What is the responsibility to the core manuscript
Mm-hmm.
versus your ability to put your own spin on it? Like Dune. The Dune of David Lynch is very weird and
Yep.
is not close to the books,
Nope.
but it's a great movie, right?
Mm-hmm.
But
Mhm.
if the author of the book had seen it, because I think he was passed away at that point, he
Yeah.
would have been like, "This is not the book," right? But it was
Mhm.
still good. It was a David Lynch's adaptation of.
It's like an interpretation of
Mhm.
what
Yeah, it's
he
like through the lens of David Lynch's weird mind. It would be like,
I
yeah,
love David Lynch.
it's like
That
what's
movie
the
is
guy who did
awesome.
Batman 2?
Tim Burton.
Yeah, it'd be
Yeah.
like if Tim Burton did Dune, it's going to be like a Tim Burton's adaptation of
Mhm.
Dune. You know, it's Tim Burton. So I guess it's like that is the question. It's like, how much do you owe to the
Oh,
source
man.
material, and how much are you allowed? Like, how do you frame it? So you're like, I'm making my version of this versus I'm going to try to make the
Good
closest
question.
adaptation of Lord of the Rings, because I think he did. I think he was a fan of the source material.
Mm-hmm.
I think
Peter
he
Jackson.
put a
Yeah.
lot of energy in getting as close as he possibly could to the source material. But other people go in a completely different direction.
So you brought up two great examples, Chris.
Yeah.
I
Keep
think
talking. I
with
let you
Batman,
Good.
with Batman, like you could clearly see that.
Harriet. Sorry, go
I'm
ahead.
not in my underwear today, so
Yeah,
I didn't give you an eyeful.
Yeah.
You
go
could
ahead.
see with Tim Burton, he was kind of reined in on the first one, and he kind of stuck with what they were doing with the character in the 80s, have it more
For Batman.
grounded. Yeah, have
Yeah.
it be a bit more grounded, have
Mhm.
it be more gritty, and then in the second
More
movie,
realistic, I would say. Like more like if Batman was real.
More. Yeah. Exactly. I agree.
the second movie, Batman Returns, he
Weird
had
as
It was
hell,
full
wild.
man.
reign, full reign.
Yeah.
I have to say, I
Weird.
love that movie.
I don't
though.
like that movie at all. I
You don't
watched
like
it.
Batman
Dude,
Returns?
I
Are you
watched
fucking
it a
kidding me?
couple years ago with Drew. I hadn't seen it since I was a kid. I was like, dude, the scene with Danny DeVito is eating the
I
dead
knew you
fish.
could say that.
I
knew you
was
were
like,
gonna bring it up.
what am I
I
watching?
can't believe what
This is
I'm
bizarre.
listening to right now.
I think stylistically, it looks so much
What?
better. It
I
looks
mean,
so much better.
but it's more, it's like a cartoon at that point.
Yes,
It's like a
yes.
cartoon made into real life, whereas the first one was like, imagine there was no Batman cartoon. We're gonna make a superhero movie.
Yeah.
see,
So yeah, you're right.
That's the
You're right.
point. You get to see a content
I'm
creator
upset now.
really just
Yeah.
really just go off and do
Yeah.
their own
Their own thing.
thing.
I'm not
Yeah.
gonna fly off the handle though. Go ahead. Go.
Same thing with Dune. I love how Denis Villeneuve, he
The
really
Dune movies are good.
he brought Dune
Yeah.
from the pages to life.
Yeah.
And I know they changed some things, but it's for the most part it's very like
Close. Yeah.
close to the source material. And I think the thing that most content creators need to pay attention to is to pay attention to the core fans, because if you please them, then all of the regular normies that go to the theaters to watch stuff, they're gonna jump on board too.
Yeah.
You need
mean-
to pay close attention to the core fans.
Yeah. No. Yes. You have to do them justice. I agree.
Yeah, I think, or it's like you have to go. Just be honest. Like if you're gonna make your
And that
rendition
too, yeah.
of something, it's just like, guys, like this is gonna be a different version of what of whatever the story is. Versus we're gonna try to bring this story to the big screen, and then you kind of you just come up with your own idea.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think because that's what pisses people off. I think if you set the right expectation, people are to give you more leeway. And if you just were like, all right, I'm going to do casting where it's like, it's a girl and now I got a guy playing that part. And like, you know what I mean? Like what you do see like that, bringing that back to, I think something that Avery wanted to talk about. It's like,
Yes.
Yeah.
Politics and culture started to influence even like the story decision-making, like in ways that are like, not necessary. Like you're trying to get brownie points by casting a certain type of person when it's like
It's ridiculous.
you're just making the movie bad. Like
let's
at the end of
touch
the
on
day,
that
like
then.
you want to make money, right? Like what are you doing?
Yeah, but before we get there, I have to address the Batman thing. Hold on.
Go ahead.
Are you serious? Please tell me you're fucking with me,
Dude,
when
I
you say this.
am 100% serious, and I will stand
It's
behind
ridiculous. What
So-
it's the worst take I've ever heard.
I
Chris
can
Corvus.
I understand.
Batman Returns is a bad movie. Get out of
It's-
here, man.
I understand where you're coming from, Chris, with that movie, but there's so much good about it. Like Michelle Pfeiffer as Catwoman was fucking
Fantastic. The
amazing.
The best Catwoman.
Great,
The best one.
no doubt. And I mean, there's certain scenes in that movie that I think are really good. Like I think he.
So you didn't like the Penguin, basically.
I mean, I just remember watching it because I watched it as an adult, and I just was like,
my mind
this,
is in a pretzel.
This
right
is, but dude, all right, think about this for a second. Hold on. Let me fight back a little bit.
Yeah, go ahead.
Superhero movies have gotten more and more closer to reality than farther away, right? And the first Batman compared to the second Batman, the first Batman was more in line with the Batmans that we're making now.
Yeah, like the Bob Kane.
And then Burton was like, so I can make it the way I want to make it. And then Burton was like, Danny DeVito, you're going to be a weird mutant penguin. Like he literally watched the cartoons and then brought it to life.
Penguin, though.
It is.
What was unrealistic about that?
I don't know. It just got kind of. I don't know. It got.
I think if he
big.
if he took out the clowns and the circus stuff, I think it would have been way better.
I have to watch it again. All right, it was late at night when I watched it. Maybe I was in the right frame of mind.
No, I get it. There's a lot of people from that time frame that didn't like it. They didn't like how at the end he was spewing that like black goo out of his mouth. Oh yeah,
come on.
Yeah, I get it. I still loved it. It was my favorite Batman movie at that time frame out of the
monkey.
Four. Yeah,
the monkey.
Yeah, I didn't care for the circus stuff.
Oh, hilarious!
If they would have kept it with Christopher Walken and Michelle Pfeiffer and Michael Keaton, and that, to me, that would have been great. I didn't mind Danny DeVito, but
he is the Penguin. It's a perfect casting.
I mean, no doubt. Like he's true to the character, 100%. I think it's just like when you go from the first one to the second one, there's such a bridge between them where you're like, this is the same franchise. This is the same story. And I think that to me is strange. Yeah, but again, it's a good example of Tim Burton in the first one. Let's say he's
stuck to Bob Kane and Bill Finger's.
Yeah, and in the second one, he's like, I'm making my Batman movie. And again,
I agree with.
That's going to work.
I disagree.
Right, that's going to work. But also you're dividing your audience, right? Because some people are going to be like, I want to see Tim Burton make Batman. Mm-hmm. Like I want to see David Lynch make Dune. And then some people are going to be like, that's not Batman.
See, and that's another part,
which is fine.
There's a strain of moviedom or going out to movies where you have fans of directors. Yeah. Do you hire someone to just make their vision, or do you hire someone to make the source material? Like, how do you strike that balance?
What do you think?
That's a good question. Yeah,
you kick that one off?
I think, for me personally, I don't go to watch a movie because it's a certain director. I go because it's a particular source material. I would want that writer or director or both to try to make it as faithful to the material as possible. I wouldn't want to watch a Harry Potter series and have it be completely different from what J.K. Rowling made it to be. I want it to be. If I'm reading something and I see that it's coming on TV or movies, I want it to be lifted from the pages and onto the screen.
Yeah.
I would side more with that.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, I think it also. Go ahead.
I do know there's a lot of people out there that truly believe in it. And it's usually a lot of people who want to get into filmmaking who truly believe that the content creator should have some say or a lot of say in terms of what they want to put out on the screen. And to me, it's a very fine line that you have to be able to balance, like be able to give the content creator some leeway so that they can they feel like they can be part of the filmmaking process, but also treat the fans like they're a part of the creation of the thing that they grew up loving.
Yeah, I think it also depends like how deep is the source material, right? Like if Harry Potter, it's like you have like these 400 pages. I mean, by the time they made the movies, there were a number of books out. Like there was a huge fan base. Like it would have been economically a bad decision to like deviate from the story significantly. I think you also do find though, like it's a good question because I think there are like movies that like I'm trying to think of a good one
That
like
went away from it.
one-off books that like don't have huge cult followings. Maybe the director is the only one that really loves this book and is like, I really want to bring this to life.
That's good.
So like that's a little bit different. So like I could pull some examples of that, like The Road. Did you see The Road?
No.
Is this with Viggo
It's like a
Mortensen?
post-apocalyptic movie. It's Viggo Mortensen.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. I mean, that's based off of a book, and it's like very good. But I imagine the director was like, I like this book. I want to make this, and I want to like express myself through it. But I think when you have these like iconic stories, like a Harry Potter, like Batman, like you know, I mean, these are like just like so
Witcher.
deep. Witcher, Game of Thrones, right? It's like
where there's like several books.
There's the fan base is so rich. It's kind of like I think you're hired to bring this to life, not for you to like express your inner self via someone else's material. Because really, that's what it is. It's like that's like you're expressing yourself, but like
you're steward of the material.
Correct. Thank you.
Exactly.
There's kind of like a hierarchy here. Like you kind of owe it to them. You didn't come up with this, so I think it's almost like a collaboration. Even if that person's not alive anymore, you kind of gotta like respect it. And I think that's like, I don't know. I feel like most directors do that. Like, you know, but I think you have seen recent times where people are like The Witcher, where it's like, no, I'm making my Witcher.
Yeah, that's
kind of audacious. You're like who the fuck are you, man? Like this is written by some Polish guy, like who's now it's a comic, and now it's been made into like all these video games. Like it's been around a lot longer than you. This is not you. You know, you didn't write the story, so don't F it up.
Yeah, no, I agree. That's exactly well said. Like there's
like Batman.
There's certain franchises where there's certain franchises where you have to respect. There needs to be loyalty. You cannot betray the source material, and that's why why do you think Giorgio? I call him Papa Giorgio, my guy. Why do you think he gets so mad? He just he's lost his mind in the last two series because HBO and going back like full circle. It's the suits upstairs, and we can get into the DEI stuff. It's the suits upstairs saying you have to. Well, we need this type of character to be this way. We need this type of character to be this way, to look this way, to identify this way. You see what I'm saying? And then George is like, I'm out. I'm done.
So for Game of Thrones, the ending of Game of Thrones, was that because of some corporate decision, or was that the director's decision?
I think that was
Weiss and Benioff, the wrongins, absolute wrongins.
They wanted to
be
rush off. Yeah, they wanted to rush off and do their own Star Wars
and
thing.
do Star Wars, which they got fired from by Disney.
Interesting.
So they can go do one.
Yeah,
they ruined it.
Yeah, I mean that's rough because it's like, dude, writing a book is hard. Like movies, it's hard, but you know, you bang out a movie, you have huge budgets, you're not even like inventing the script, right? Someone has provided you the script. Like you have George R.R. Martin in a room creating nothing out of something, you know, just pulling ideas out of the air and writing.
He created an entire world
and language and stuff like that. Yeah, I mean, I think, Joe, to your point, like it's kind of like you owe it to the source material to do it justice, and if you can't, to opt out. Like if you can't, you just shouldn't. I mean, again, it's business and it's money, but it's like, yeah, like think about Lord of the Rings. That guy wrote a language, a literal language.
Crazy.
You can learn that language. It obeys all of the rules of language. This guy created a language
It's
just for
awesome.
his story.
Yeah.
And it's like, this is his life's work, or, you know, and if you're going to shit on it, right, or not do it justice or put it the amount, he put so much time into making those movies. Like, those movies took years, and the sets and the budget. Like, I think he really felt the weight of making that story come to life. But sometimes I feel like these people just don't. It's just,
Yeah.
it's like,
You know,
it's dumb.
you're right that it's wildly impressive that you can create a world that's so beautiful like that and create languages. That's incredible.
It's insane.
But you know who would love this conversation? George Lucas.
Oh,
Because
God.
when he sold Star Wars to Disney, he
Yeah.
did you remember the interview, Joe?
Yeah,
Where
I know.
he
He's so
just
spiteful. It
yeah,
doesn't
he
make any
just
sense.
hated it what they did to the Star Wars franchise. This is the sound. He goes, "This is the sound of 50 executives shitting on my work."
Oh, did he say that?
No, in a comedy
Oh,
thing,
man.
someone was pretending to be George Lucas and said he didn't say that. That's not a quote.
I mean, he sold
That's not a
out
quote.
essentially.
He did sell.
He got his
He got the bag though.
his generational wealth
Yeah.
from one idea that he came up with, and that they've made money off of that idea ever since. Like,
But he's regretted it though. He said,
yeah, I mean, it's a whole conversation. I mean, this is right up Joe's alley of like artistic integrity versus money. And like, it is kind of interesting. After this, I'll go look up George Lucas to see if I can find any good quotes, because it's
Yeah.
like, he made a
I
lot
can't
of
find that
money
he did.
off it.
Oh,
But
yeah.
it's like, I wonder, once you've had that money, if he's regretting it. It's like the money wasn't worth seeing like an idea that he birthed into reality.
I
Like,
think he
shit
also
on.
got fed up with the criticism of the prequels. Like I think he like tapped out at some point. So he decided, okay, let me give it to someone who's gonna do a little bit of justice to the stuff that I created, but I can also like just step away and be maybe a little bit of a creative consultant from time to time. But it went way off the rails.
I mean, you can stop making them,
Yeah.
right? I mean, I think that's the hardest thing. It's like, I'm trying to think. It's like in sports, I imagine. Well, in fighting, right? There's like I don't know how we're bringing. I'm going to tie this into UFC, but it's like,
Nice.
right. And at the end of the day, like, you have a biological clock. Like, there's a point of which
Mhm.
like you're past your prime,
Mona Lisa Vito.
and the ones that are smart know when to cut out while they can, rather than stick around and then start to get beat, and then like your legacy gets tarnished. I think that's true of like storytelling as well. Like, if you have a good story and you have all these fans and they love it, it's pretty hard to stop making it, even when your heart's not in it anymore. And then I think that's what happens when you sell the idea to someone else, and then, you know.
Yeah.
Guys, I'm gonna let the dog out. Keep talking.
Yeah,
hear it
Harriet
barking.
yeah, here. But yeah, you see what I put in there, Joe? He called Disney white
Ooh,
slavers.
Jesus. Holy crap.
But then he later apologized for it. So let's get the facts right.
He
But
also,
you know that's how he felt at the moment, though.
he
Yeah.
also hated that Marvel got so much money from when they sold out to Disney that he actually sold Star Wars to Disney for like $1 more than Marvel, which is crazy.
He just did like the Price is Right.
Yeah.
$1
Yeah,
more.
$1 more.
That's an ego thing.
Yeah,
right
it
there.
is. Which is
Yeah.
weird because Marvel came out way before Star Wars. That's just, I don't know, it's just dumb.
Yeah. So did you hear that, Chris?
I heard something about Star Wars and Marvel.
So look at the link I put. That's what he called them, and then George Lucas apparently Price is Righted them. That's hilarious.
He sold Star
What a
Wars for
trope.
$1 more than what
Yeah.
Marvel was sold to Disney for,
So
because he wanted Star Wars to be like their preeminent like
Hilarious.
content out
he
there.
did the Price is Right move. Bob
And,
Barker.
and the thing is that I think Marvel, they made so much more money off
They
of
did.
than Star
They did.
Wars.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's that's also the interesting thing. Like, you know, just to pivot for a second, like, so Marvel is owned by Disney,
Mhm.
Star Wars is owned by Disney,
Yes.
and like there is that shift when art becomes a commodity. Like literally, if you think about it, they sold an idea and a name, right? They sold Star Wars. They can make anything they want up within the Star Wars universe. They can create a whole new universe if they want. Just like the idea, they sold it, and I don't know. That's kind of an amazing thing. Like you can sell a made up universe, and like it's probably worth like $500 million. It might be even worth $1 billion. At least with Marvel, you have like all of the source material. Like it's like buying a library of stories. Star Wars, you're just really buying like the idea, because every time they make a new movie, they kind of just like create something new. It's not like it exists somewhere and they're pulling it off.
They
pages.
had books and stuff like that were created over time, but they, for some stupid reason, they got rid of it. They like shelved it. They said, okay, this is not canon. We're going to do our own. This is Disney.
This is dumb.
Disney has just ruined it.
So they keep doing the same story over and over
and
again.
over.
It's like, guys, I don't care about Luke Skywalker anymore. I don't care. You have this whole universe. Take me like somewhere else where something else is going on.
Yep.
Like,
I agree.
You create a Death Star, and then we're going to destroy a Death Star, and then we're going to create it again, and we're going to destroy it again.
At least I think with Marvel, they did a good job, because they started to then jump around and then bring a bunch of different storylines together. I feel like the amount of time and effort they put into world building, like that core group of writers was pretty legit.
But I think that only worked because the guy who was in charge of Marvel, well, he's still in charge, but he was a fan.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing. It's like, how do you bring something to light that you're not a fan of?
Yeah,
It'd be like someone remaking X-Files and didn't love the original X-Files.
I would do bad things.
Or like
don't mess with that.
What is it? What's the Peak? The David Lynch show?
Twin Peaks.
Twin Peaks.
Don't
Like
mess with
imagine
Twin
if someone
Peaks.
remade it and they hated
I won't have it.
the original version of it. Like
I would lose my mind.
Yeah, I mean the world would, because it's like there's a huge audience for these things. And I think that's kind of like, I don't know. It takes a little bit of maybe just go ahead.
Is X-Files coming back? I think it
No,
is.
I don't think so.
I don't know. I just knew that you were an X-Files fan, so I was like,
I know there's certain things that are coming back, like damn, I'm trying to remember.
And that's the other thing. It's like,
Malcolm in the Middle is coming back.
You can't come up with
leave it
new
alone.
ideas. Like, come on.
So that's another part too.
We need to have like Malcolm in the Middle again. Like, come on.
But which is weird because all of them are coming back except for the youngest kid. But this is like big thing about
It's dumb.
Yeah, it's stupid. He's a NASCAR driver now, though. What's his name?
Freddie Muniz.
Yeah.
Frankie Muniz drives in NASCAR now.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's like, why? It's like you can't. To
It's
me, I
kinda
think
awesome,
they're just getting
actually.
lazy.
But there's a nostalgia craze going on in Hollywood.
But this is more what my angle of I wanted to talk about.
Go for it.
Why can't someone make something completely original? And you think it's because people have like this insatiable desire for nostalgia stuff.
Yeah, I think that's a part of it. And I think once again,
No, I think
studios,
it's easy money. I think it's.
I
more
was just about to say that
money.
too. I said the second part is it's just easy for the studios to say, okay, people know this, let's put it out for them.
But do you think they actually are making money off these things?
I think so.
Like when they
definitely.
brought back Roseanne, and then they kicked out Roseanne.
Well, she kicked herself out. She she said some wild shit. We all know what she said. We can't repeat it.
Well, look at like Top Gun Maverick. Like it took 20 plus years, and that movie like made a lot of money. Like this instances of like nostalgia pieces actually like really hitting, and once Hollywood sees something hit, everyone rushes to the table and try to do the same thing.
This is why I think to that point, Joe, because it's spot on, because I think that's why Hollywood is moving away from the comic book scene, and it's all like sports
video.
stories.
I think it's video games
and video
game movies.
So, Chris, have you noticed that a lot of stuff is sports, like based on a true story, sports stories or video game stories. Yeah,
Yeah, I
they're
mean,
moving away from the comics.
I think the video games is like an untapped market that
It's
they're
not
realizing
anymore.
that like well,
Minecraft like made a shit ton.
yeah,
I
but I
don't
think that they're just realizing that
I
like,
don't.
or they have realized, but
Ridiculous.
that there's a huge also like success. Some of these games, like Final Fantasy,
Mm-hmm.
they've made some movies, animated movies, but that's like there's so many games. It's just like a comic book story. Like there's just so
Yeah.
many storylines. So that EP is probably like being bought up like crazy. The
Yeah.
question will be, will you hire someone who is a Final Fantasy fan, for example, to make that, or are you just going to kind of like offload it to your
Your
random
studio writer, your guy that
your-
you always go
yeah.
to for stuff.
I mean, I'm done with movies. I hope for the medium to die personally.
That's
That is never gonna happen.
It's not. It's not.
why,
No, because we like stories, and stories, moving pictures is like as old as time. Like people always
films,
love that.
good films are still good. Come on, that's
But
crazy.
dude, when it's
Yeah,
like
that
when
is
was the
crazy.
last time you saw like a good film that had heart, that touched you?
So like a drama, not
I
like
mean, just
something that made me
something.
laugh.
I mean, like the what is the Ben Stiller movie Walter Mitty?
Mm-hmm.
That's a good film to me. It's a comedy, but it's
haven't seen it.
heartwarming. It touches you. It's a well made, interesting idea.
I think I've said this here before, but probably Ford v Ferrari. Like to me,
Yeah,
said that, like, two
that movie
times
was
ago.
sick. Yeah, and I like the Matt
Yeah.
Reeves Batman. I like the Pattinson Batman, which it's good. It might get canceled. Joe, did you hear about that?
I heard about it. It's more like personal stuff with him. He might have some
Yeah.
sickness or someone in his family. I
Yeah.
thought that movie was too fucking long.
It was long. That movie was good though.
There's some long pauses that they could have
Yeah.
chipped out. I think they could have tightened it maybe by 25 minutes.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree.
It was long. I agree.
It's like almost 3 hours, I think.
yeah,
I think Paul Dano was
he was awesome.
perfect.
He's
Yeah.
fantastic.
Yeah.
He's
But-
good in everything. I don't think you could really
What's his
find
name? Brian. Who was the Joker? Brian Key. I can't pronounce. He has an
Something
Irish name.
Keogh, yeah.
Yeah,
I forgot his
Brian.
first name.
Brian. I
Yeah,
think.
that looks so fucking weird. He
Yeah.
didn't have to have that like stuff on his face.
Well, the nice thing is that you kind of don't see him that much
Yeah.
and that long, so they could kind of tweak that if they
It was
wanted
that.
to.
It was just like So he's allegedly going to be the villain in the next one, but now the movie it keeps getting pushed back.
Ah.
It might not even get made.
Well, I
Yeah,
don't
might
think
not.
he enjoyed making that movie, Pattinson. If I'm,
Why is that? I didn't. What did
I
he
think
say
there
about
was a lot of
He wasn't
like,
happy with bulking up for the.
He didn't want to
for the
work
role.
out.
Yeah.
He didn't want to
Yeah.
have to exercise, eat. He was So
I thought he was a good Batman though.
I thought he
liked
was
him.
very good.
He's
I
sick,
thought he was
yeah.
a good young, like
Yeah, the
I'm
young
just
Batman.
starting out as Batman. I thought he was great. I like
Yeah.
that movie a lot. I
That
enjoyed it.
movie's awesome.
I do agree with you, Joe, that there's a lot of you could have definitely another edit of it could have
Yeah.
easily pulled
Yeah,
out.
like get rid of that stupid Salvatore Moroni stuff. I like the character, but if you're not gonna have Two-Face, get that out of here.
Well, I think it was they needed the Penguin because then they made a
You
TV
could have
show.
the Penguin,
Which was
without
a hit, by the way.
Moroni.
Mhm.
Yeah, I heard it was very good.
You didn't
Yeah.
have to do that. You could just
Yeah.
have the mob boss in another movie. You don't have to have the Salvatore Moroni and the Penguin in the same thing. And even the Penguin, he was like a small bit in the movie.
So let me ask you this question. Well, I mean, I think they just wanted an audience
Set him up.
to see him
Mhm.
because I would imagine they were already writing the script
series, yeah.
for the show.
for Penguin. Yeah.
Yeah, because you think about it, who did they get to play him? They got Colin Farrell. His part wasn't that big. They had to have dangled. Well, if this works, we got the show ready to go.
And he wasn't happy doing the show because he had to sit in like makeup for like 2 hours
yeah.
a day.
I was
Every single
surprised
day.
they got him. To me, that was astounding.
Yeah, see, that's why I like talking with you guys about this because people don't understand. Like, I sit down Sunday night HBO, I watch The Penguin. You realize how much Colin Farrell had to do every single day to
Mhm.
film this.
Well,
He
he's
had
in
to-
it. Isn't
yeah.
he in it like 80%? Like
Yeah.
he
Yeah, a
has
lot.
to carry it. So it's like
Yeah.
he's on set all the time and he's in makeup all the time.
And makeup, yep.
Exactly. It's crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was probably a tough gig, honestly.
So I'm surprised. I'm not surprised Pattinson, because what I heard, Joe, from my whispers, from my birds, is it's not Reeves that doesn't want it. It's Pattinson that doesn't want to do it again.
Then just recast. I don't understand
Yeah.
why it's not really a big deal if you get to recast. It's not like this huge
It
thing
is
that
a big deal.
I
It
don't
It
think so.
is.
They could get another actor who was just as good as
They could,
Robert
but it's like
Pattinson.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't like when they switch that up.
But that's not
Yeah, I wouldn't
that
like
used
that.
to happen all the time. Like look at the '90s Batman. No one gave a shit when Val
I mean,
Kilmer took
we're
over.
talking about they're
I
terrible
mean,
movies. Though.
I
No,
guess you're right. I mean,
no,
I can see what
I
you're
get it.
saying.
When I was a kid, I loved Batman Forever, and then it took me like
So did I.
being
Yeah.
like 19, 20 to rewatch and see how much shit it was.
Oh,
But
man.
at the time,
I like Val
no one said anything. And actually, Val Kilmer was good in that
He's a
movie.
good Batman.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
Val
Yeah, I
Kilmer.
mean, I guess you're right because think about Ben Affleck, who was Batman not that long ago.
yeah. And then before
Yeah,
that,
it's
Christian
terrible
Bale.
Batman.
I
Yeah.
don't think he was that bad. I just think that he was given awful stuff to do.
Who, Ben Affleck?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he has the look of the old Batman, like that big, meaty
Mm-hmm.
character. Like
older, like middle-aged Batman.
So, like, I think they could have made. I think those movies were just like
those
not
movies
good.
stunk though.
Yeah, it was awful.
Justice League was
Yeah,
just
they're
horrible.
bad. Dude, they're
So-
bad
And I
movies.
don't like the robot suit Batman. Come on.
It's dumb.
But see,
Yeah.
that's another part that kind of plays into the whole topic. Hollywood also doesn't want to do the same thing over and over again, which they do, but they want to tweak things so that to give the audience a bit something new that they haven't seen.
Yeah,
So having that mech suit Batman, which is in the comics,
yeah.
it gives fans something new to look forward to.
Well, you're chasing likes. You're trying to give the eyeball something new to chew on.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
I'm curious where you guys like go on this part. Like, there's this. I feel like there's a kind of like a battle right now between, I would say, our millennial group who likes a certain part of a character, and then there's like the younger generation that likes a newer type of a character that has a bit more different character traits that we don't like.
Like, can you give an example? I feel like Batman is kind of stayed the test of time. Like,
for the most part, I'm trying to think of a character that's changed over time. Like Spider-Man. Like
okay,
people I grew up loving the Peter Parker kind of Spider-Man.
the
But I feel-
cartoon.
yeah. Oh, the cartoons, the Tobey Maguire, although I've grown to not like him as much. But I think the newer generation, they really want to see the Miles Morales Spider-Man because it's newer. It speaks to them.
He's the director.
No, it's the newer character. It's he's like half black, half Puerto Rican, Spider-Man.
Okay.
It's like a multiverse, all like
Yeah, I mean you've just lost
alternate.
Avery. He's like, multiverse. What are you watching?
Peter Parker should be a dweeb nerd.
I agree.
That's what the character is. Why are we making him to some hunky Latin dude? And I'm saying this as a Puerto Rican man.
He's like, as a hunky Latin dude.
Yeah. Come on, like, what are we doing here? Yeah.
But this is the kind of like battle in terms of IP that is out there. Like, how do you keep a certain character in the limelight that is a bit more dated versus trying to kind of update the character for the times, and how do you strike that balance? Because I know with me, when it comes to when it comes to source material, I want you to be as faithful as possible. I don't want to see a Miles Morales, but I know there's a lot of fans out there that do. So how do you strike that balance?
Yeah, it's a good question.
It is a good question because I think for me it's just a cash grab. For me, I'm like you, Joe. I want it to be strict. There's a saying in law speak where it's strict interpretation. So there's Supreme Court justices that when they read the Constitution, they have strict interpretation, right? That's what I want when something is getting adapted on screen from the book or the comic, from the pages. I want strict interpretation. Now, if you want to take liberties, I'm cool with that. Get creative, but just make an original story. Leave Spider-Man alone. and just make a new superhero. You see what I'm saying? Just make
Yeah.
a new person.
See, and that's the thing. That's what the comics did. They created a new character, but there's a lot of fans that are tired of seeing Peter Parker, and they want to see more. They want to see.
But why is he called Spider-Man then?
That's the 2000s. They came
Yeah, we're
up with
going
these
down
new
like a
characters.
deep.
Yeah, they
It's
just
like
came up
he's
with
in
new
a
characters.
universe, and that's in that universe.
Oh,
That's actually
get out of here.
that is the Spider-Man.
just
like,
just make him a new superhero.
Yeah.
New name,
Yeah.
original story.
So Joe, I think like not to just go too much down the comic
Yeah.
book thing as
Yeah.
we start
Yeah.
to wind down. It's
Yeah.
like I do think though that maybe comic books I think this is that you bring up a point.
But it's not only comic books. It's just like
Yeah, no, you're right.
mainly
I
media.
agree.
Like
Yeah.
trying to adapt to the times. How do you strike that balance? It's tough to do.
I think it's very hard. I mean, I think you're always going to piss someone off, right? Like
Mhm.
if you recast and you do a very different casting, and you have the diehard fans, they're going to be pissed.
Mm-hmm.
The people who want to see something new, which I get it, right? Because things can become old. You want to like revise something,
Mhm.
you know. So it's like you're trying to always play to these two audiences, and I mean that's kind of a balancing act. I don't know how you do that. I think part of the problem is that we have like entertainment has moved so heavily towards like this used to be a one-off problem where it's like periodically someone would make a movie that was based off of a book.
Mhm.
Now that's become the majority of things that are made. It's made off of some other IP, like some other intellectual property with huge fan bases.
Mm-hmm.
And it's almost become like how it's kind of insane that there's so many Spider-Man movies that we even have to worry about how do we update this character. It's like how many there's like 6 Spider-Man movies. Like
yeah, and then they make the movie with all the different
All three of
Spider-Man.
them, yeah.
yeah, so
Oh,
it's
come
kind of
on,
like
man.
it gets a little bit where it's like this is kind of a problem that should never have existed. Maybe there should have been one round of Spider-Man, but because there was so much good money in it, it's like, all right, we're never going to stop making Spider-Man movies.
Mhm.
We're never going to stop making Batman movies. We're never going to stop making Superman movies. And now you've created the problem of, do we stay true? How do we spice it up? Maybe Spider-Man's going to be bisexual. You know what I mean? Like, and instead of like Lois Lane, it's like Louis Lane or something. I'm just saying, like, you know what I mean? When in reality, it's like
That might happen one day.
Oh,
I mean,
no,
it's
no,
probably
it's not.
someone
No, it's
is
not.
working on this right now.
Oh god.
CC me on that. Right? Like Wolverine is, I don't know, he's transsexual, right? He is like paints his nails red.
Oh my god.
But you know what I'm saying? Like these shouldn't be problems because like this should have been a phase where we made these really epic movies and then we stopped. Like there's no more Armageddons. Like there was Armageddon and Deep Impact. It was
You
a
always
trend.
bring up
It was
Armageddon.
cool, but they stopped making those movies. Like
you like Armageddon, don't you?
I mean, it's like a go-to. I always bring up Armageddon and Deep Impact because the same year they both made a
came out,
movie that
yeah.
had to do with like asteroids.
Actually, you know what?
They literally came out like the same summer. I
We're
think.
going on a tangent. Which one do you like better? And you have to choose one.
Armageddon,
Really?
100%.
Nah, I'm
Wow.
going Deep Impact.
Deep
Really?
Impact.
I
Yeah,
like
Deep
Taya
Impact
Leone,
is
that's
better.
what-
Yeah.
Really? Armageddon is like
It's goofy.
It's like the first Justice. It's like an Armageddon is like the Marvel Avengers.
Yeah. Let's get a bunch of farmers to become astronauts.
They're just
Steve
like,
What are we doing here?
They're
going
like,
nuts on the fucking
yeah,
the
it's a
asteroid.
great
Steve
movie,
Buscemi.
man. Steve Buscemi, come on.
He's the man. I love Steve Buscemi. He's the man.
Um,
But I like Taya Leone. She was married to Coveney for a long time.
Oh shit! Yeah,
Yeah.
I forgot
Yeah.
about
She was in Deep. She was the main character
Yeah.
in Deep Impact with Morgan Freeman.
that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I guess the question I have for you guys is, do you think so? Like when we grew up, I think like the '90s and early 2000s, like indie films was a huge thing. Like a lot of the indie film festivals, I think, kind of started like our generation. Like, do you think we're gonna go back to that, or is that over? Because like when we grew up, there used to be literally theaters that were like indie film
Yeah,
theaters.
yeah.
And you went and go watch this latest indie film on some obscure topic, right? It's an hour and 15-minute movie. It's a short movie. And it's like by this auteur director. like a Wes Anderson movie.
Oh,
But like I
God.
feel like
Like
those are
City of God was a great indie
that's a
film.
perfect example. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like Javier Bardem did a movie called Beautiful. It was a Spanish movie. I saw it in like a indie theater.
Mhm.
But now that's
The
like
Angelica in New
Yeah,
York.
probably.
yeah, probably.
Yeah.
What's the one on West 4th Street and 6th Avenue?
I know.
You know which
exactly.
one?
I know exactly what you're talking about. I can't remember the name though.
I remember I saw the
Well, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
the Holden Caulfield movie there. I forgot what's his name. I know
Green
what
Mile?
I know what he looks like. I'll look it up.
Yeah, I mean,
well, what movie was he
So
in?
to answer your question, I think
He
it's
was
going
like
to go
Catcher in
in,
the Rye movie. Yeah. Go
it's
ahead.
going to go in cycles, and I think it is going to come back.
okay.
I really do. It's just a matter of, is it going to be a collapse of the movie theaters and movie studios before that happens?
I'm cool with that. Why not?
Because you can see a lot of that stuff, a lot of the indie stuff is going over to streaming and is going over to TV, but it's not the same.
Yeah.
And I honestly think it will come back, but I think that the studio system will have to collapse before that happens.
Yeah, I hope so, because I mean, here's the thing, it's like I like the Marvel movies, but at a certain point it's like they were original when they came out.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's like they're not anymore, right? Now you're just trying to chase that money and like ride that gravy train, and that's why they become not good. Like the first Iron Man was like a pretty damn good movie.
Yep.
It was like pretty awesome, and like it had like it was the character I grew up with as a little kid, and it had a story and it had good acting.
Yeah,
and
the
was like,
original Iron
shit,
Man.
that was
I can fuck
awesome.
with. Yeah. It was it's the IFC theater, which
IFC.
Yeah, and Angelica is in like Soho, the East
like
Village.
310 to Yuma. Did you guys ever see 310 to Yuma?
Yeah, the 310 to Yuma is
excellent
great.
movie.
Yeah.
Did I ever tell you that
Excellent
that's the movie that made me like take my first acting class?
What the fuck?
Yeah, 310 to
Yeah.
Yuma. Because I watched the movie because I was like, this is a simple movie. Like it's just a couple characters.
Mhm.
They probably shot this over the course of a week, maybe 2
Yeah.
weeks. It's not like a lot going on, right? There's a lot of talking, horseback riding. There's a couple of gun scenes, but like I was so impressed by like the depth of
Christian Bale,
Russell Crowe's character,
Okay.
right? Because he's a villain, but he had such depth, and I was like, this is awesome. Like this is an amazing.
Yeah.
I was like touched when I watched it because in the end he like kills all his men and then like essentially fulfills what Christian Bale was trying to do so he can save his family. And I was like, this is real. This is art.
A fantastic movie.
And I was like, it's been a long time since I've seen stuff like that. And I feel like when we grew up, this was
There's
like
a lot more of it.
this was like a weekly thing. You could go to like a theater and it'd be like
And
this
see a
very
cool movie.
eclectic
Yeah.
like film and walk out and be like, let's go get coffee and we can talk about this for a while. 'cause
Yeah,
it's like
this-
so
no,
much
you-
stuff going on.
absolutely well said.
I loved back
Yeah.
in the day watching, going to the movies and then going to talk about them. That's
Yeah.
like, to me, that's dead. That's gone.
So we're bringing it full universal back because that's why I always say when the biopic of Christopher Corwell comes out, it's gonna be middle-aged Russell Crowe that's gonna play you. Look at that.
I dig
How
it.
did I know that? So,
And I'm not even kidding. Like I remember watching it and I was like, I was at Rowan University.
yeah.
So I was in college still because it came out a while ago.
Mm-hmm.
And I took
Yeah,
an acting class the next semester. I was like, that's
Holy
what I want to
shit.
do
Wow.
because it was so
Russell
freaking
Crowe.
awesome.
It's the same director who did Ford v Ferrari too.
Is it really?
Yeah, it
I
is.
did not know
Yep, yeah.
that. I may now have to go watch
That's
that
why
movie.
he uses Bale all the
Yep.
time.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Well,
I mean,
he casts Bale. I'm
Mhm.
sorry. Uses is a different.
I think you're
No
gonna
Diddy here. No Diddy here. Yeah.
oh, we need to talk about that at some point
No,
too.
no.
No, we're not.
The
Not
trial is
today.
going on. No,
Well, maybe that'll be
an
an episode where we got to do a little download.
Oh
of that.
God.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah,
I
he
want
casts
all of
Bale.
Hollywood to just die. I want it to burn down.
They might.
The
they
fires
might.
in California. I mean,
Oh,
feel bad for
man.
people.
I forgot.
they
about
need
that.
to
Wow.
eradicate like that whole scene.
They're
needs to
doing
be
it in Jersey,
destroyed.
Chris. They're by you. They're building. Netflix just
Oh yeah.
bought a gigantic property, and
Yeah.
they're gonna start filming everything in Jersey.
That's great.
All
Tremendous.
Netflix shows are going to be filmed in
That's
Jersey,
tremendous.
not LA.
Yeah, I mean that's why I love the indie scene to return, because that was the indie scene. It was like you could, I mean, and now I think it's kind of amazing because there is better technology where, like, if you have a great story and like heart, you could make like a very, like, if we had a great script, it would not be that big of a budget to go make a movie.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas before, it would take a lot more effort.
I think the problem is it's still out there. It's just so hard to find now because
I think
it's
you're
all
right.
over the place. It's all over the place.
I think
So
you're right.
it's just harder because all these streaming services are all over the place.
So
Mm-hmm.
as we wind down, what should let's say? Well, I'm trying to think if I can startle you with the final thoughts. So let me ask you this question, Joe. What is one book, comic book, video game that has yet to be made for the big screen that you would love to see?
That's tough.
That's a crazy question. That's a good one.
I feel like a lot of the stuff is being made or it has been made. Okay, I'm gonna twist what you asked. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna highlight something that I feel like not a lot of people are actually talking about. I think there's this comic book called why am I just lost it. It's on Amazon right now. Oh, okay, so there's two. There's a video game, Fallout.
Okay.
That a lot of people have heard, but I don't know if they know the video game. I didn't know the video game.
I don't know it, but I've heard of it.
I've heard of it. The series that they adapted
on
with
Hulu, right?
No, it's on Amazon.
Yeah.
That Christopher Nolan's brother, Jonathan Nolan, adapted. Fucking amazing.
He did Westworld.
Yeah, he did Westworld. And he's adapting Fallout. The first season came out. I think they're going to do the second
season. Yeah, my dad saw it. My dad loved it.
It's amazing.
Yeah. Even your dad loved it.
Yeah, he liked it a lot. Because he likes that one actor who was in Justice League who plays the... Right, Fallout's the one where it's like they're in the future and...
It's somewhat future, but it's like...
And some people live like underground?
It's not underground, yes. In a Fallout shelter, yes.
And a girl, doesn't she have to... She makes her way to the surface?
That's it.
Yeah, so the character who is like has the radiation all over him, he's like dressed as the cowboy.
Yes,
that actor,
Walton Goggins. That's
Walton
his name.
Goggins. Yeah,
Goggins.
My dad likes him a lot.
Now, he's good.
I like that actor. I like him a lot.
He's in White Lotus. He's in
a lot of stuff. He's having his little.
He's in the Righteous
Renaissance.
The Righteous one.
Yeah, I feel like he's the type of actor. Like, I'll do anything. Like,
first time I saw him was in the Tarantino movie, the Hateful Eight.
Oh, he was great in that too.
He was awesome.
I know him from Justice League. Not Justice League.
Justified.
Yeah. Justified. I know
Justified.
him from Hateful
He was
Eight.
awesome. He was also in The Shield.
Shield. Yep.
That was a long time ago, though.
The Shield is a sick show. People sleep on The Shield. Michael Chiklis, baby.
That's another thing I'd like to see would be like a renaissance of TV, right? Because like think about like The Shield was new, Justified had source material, freaking first season of True Detective, like amazing.
Maybe the best season of television of all time.
Maybe.
Yeah.
The other one I
love that to happen again.
The other one I want to highlight is Invincible. It's just an animated series.
Another thing my parents like to watch.
How are you watching? How are you not watching this stuff? But your parents are.
I don't know, man.
Crazy.
I've seen some of Invincible. I like it. Did you follow the comic?
I didn't.
Okay.
I didn't follow the comic. I knew about it because it's kind of it's similar to Spider-Man, but it's also so fucked up, and it's like. These adult themes that you would never think a comic would take, but they definitely did that here. But Invincible, it's amazing. I dare you to watch both of these things. You have
where can I find this?
Amazon Prime. Unfortunately,
Amazon Prime.
I have Amazon so much, but
Invincible is comic book, man. So I don't know if you're gonna, but it's a cartoon, so maybe you'll allow.
Do people have superpowers in this?
Yes, they do, but they have a lot more adult themes. You're not dealing with like.
Well, like I'll just open it with this, which might be interesting. You find in the very first episode the two main characters, or the ones the father and the son. The son finds out that his father has been on the planet to essentially like take it over.
Enslave it, yeah.
And he like has like a near death fight with his son, father and son. It's like the first episode,
Yeah.
and it's like
Wow.
pretty.
And it's
pretty
gory.
heavy.
Yep.
Yeah, it's bloody. It's heavy. Like
but it's
themes,
animated.
It's
animated.
animated, yes.
It's
Yeah.
animated.
Yeah.
And it's not. There's
Um,
not too many seasons out too. I think there's only 3 seasons out.
There's 3. Yeah.
It's really
Um,
good.
All
So
right, what about
that's
you?
how I'll twist it.
Yeah.
Twist your
That
question.
works. That works.
I got one. This would be the greatest. I think it should be a multi-season show, not a film. It's a Final Fantasy, one of the Final Fantasy games, but it's not. It's called Final Fantasy Tactics.
Okay.
So it's like
Okay.
a war strategy game. So it's different than the role-playing games. It's called. That might be the greatest story I've ever seen in my life. And my brother and I wrote, like, we did like a fan, like, what do you call that, Joe?
Fan
When you-
fiction?
fan fiction, exactly. We did like a fan fiction for it, but on my old PC when we were teenagers crashed, so I lost
You
it.
lost-
I lost the script.
Damn.
We wrote it.
Sucks.
My
Damn.
brother and I wrote it, but it's gone.
Final
now.
Fantasy is like when they start to
Final- it's-
make good quality movies, because there's so much like it's the
I'm gonna put
the
link in.
storylines are like very complex and
Oh, it's
and
awesome.
layered.
Because this one is based on it's like the setting is not the future like most Final Fantasy where people have powers and like advanced technology. This one is in like the Middle Ages where there's like civil war going on
Interesting.
in Ivalis. Is the name of the place.
All right, so let me think. 3, Joe. I'll give you 3. Count of Monte Cristo. That's my favorite book, and the book is so different than the movie that was made in our like when we were younger. That it makes me angry because I've read that book like 10 times, and I'm like, it's long and it's not it's so different. That's an example of someone who made a movie, and it's so different from the source material that it's almost as if you made a different movie. Like you kept the name of the characters, but you've just abandoned
Yeah.
the storyline
That
in its
sucks.
entirely. So I would love. I've at different times thought to write the script because I've read that book so many times. That was one. Neuromancer by William Gibson is like a sci-fi book that would be awesome to be made into a movie. I don't think it has not been made into a movie. Let's see. Is there anything else? I think that's it. I think it's those. I think those are my 2.
Okay.
You know they're
Count 'em
making
Monte
another
Cristo.
Blade.
Yeah,
Who's Blade? Who's playing Blade?
It's supposed to be.
I think it's gonna be. It's gonna be. I think it's gonna be Wesley Snipes. No.
No, I forgot his name. God damn it! Because it got shelved because they were having issues with the scripts, so that might not be made anymore. I'm forgetting the actor who. Hold on.
Yeah, it's part of the MCU.
Yeah. God damn it.
Yeah, because they bought.
Uh,
Remember, it was owned by Sony, and then they bought it.
Mahershala Ali.
Oh yeah, he's
Oh,
good. I
yeah.
like him.
Yeah.
he's
He's
a good
awesome.
actor.
Great
But he's old though for the role, in my opinion. But
I
he's definitely a great actor.
He's gonna have to get a little beefy and start stretching because there's
Yeah.
gonna be a lot of fight scenes.
I can see him doing that. It's just that can he do the role for another 5 or 10 years? I
No.
don't know if that's gonna happen.
But by then, AI will just replace him. And
Oh,
it'll be
God.
okay.
Uh,
All right. Final thoughts. Anything else before we wrap up for this one?
No, I might play Final Fantasy Tactics again. That's the one- I love that video game. That's the one video game I love.
I'm not surprised that you like Final Fantasy because you like stories, and that's like all
Yeah.
about
It's
stories
telling you,
and
read that
storytelling.
wiki page I just put in there.
Yeah, let me
And
actually.
it's
uh,
from the
let me grab it.
The game came out in the 90s.
My brother was a Final Fantasy guy.
Yeah, but
Um,
that's it. If anyone wants to make that movie,
make entertainment great again. Is that what you're saying?
yeah, exactly. That'll save the entire. That'll save Hollywood. This story will save Hollywood.
No,
I'm telling you right now.
Oh man.
But it's long. It can't be a movie. I take that back.
I mean,
It
they
can't
love
be-
it because they'll make
ha-
they'll make 50 movies out of it. They'll make
It
about
has to be a
$50 trillion.
series. It has to be a television show. Yeah.
Oh, before you go, Joe, I'm gonna go see. Speaking of bad movies that are good,
no, here
I'm gonna
we
see
go.
Mission Impossible, man. I'm probably gonna see that this weekend.
I don't think it's gonna be
Booyah.
bad.
It's gonna be awesome.
I think it's gonna be good.
It's gonna be awesome.
I heard it's good. Tom Cruise was on Pat McAfee's show.
Did you see the
I
last
saw
one?
that.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, hey, you went on Pat McAfee. That's crazy.
You see that? You see the poll that Pat McAfee has
Oh,
now?
I'm seeing the last one, man. It's gonna be awesome.
Did you like
apparently
the
it's good.
previous one?
Yes.
Okay, it was good.
Yes.
My man Tom Cruise is hanging off the side of a
Tom
of a
Cruise
jet.
Tom Cruise can be
For
two
real,
things at once.
for real.
He's
Yeah.
insane, probably legitimately insane. You want to talk about Diddy parties? Tom Cruise probably is at a whole other level of weird.
Eyes Wide Shut is really Tom Cruise's real life.
But he don't make bad movies.
No.
I dare you to pick a bad Tom Cruise movie.
Yeah, he makes it his point to really entertain and
He
make
loves.
It's hard to
people see
find.
things
I don't
that-
think I can pick a bad Tom. I don't think I can.
I was just yesterday at work. I was talking about Cocktail. I love that movie.
God.
Dude. Cocktail is a great movie.
That dude is probably the most bankable
Aruba,
Hollywood actor
Jamaica.
there ever was.
Ooh,
Yeah.
I wanna take it to Bermuda.
That Mission Impossible movie is
Mama,
going to make $1 trillion.
mama,
No, it's
baby
not.
mama.
I mean,
The last-
it's gonna make a lot of money, not
Montego.
trillion, but
You remember the Beach Boys song?
Yeah.
Oh,
Cocktail.
God.
Yeah, Kokomo, baby.
like think about that plot. It's about two guys that are just like essentially
They're
getting
just
busy
yeah.
and bartenders, and they made
They're
a movie about it.
bartenders, and
it was
he's
a-
trying to.
It's a good movie.
Did you know that I haven't seen the movie, but apparently it's based off of TGI Fridays, which is fucking nuts.
That's hilarious.
Which
It's
is random.
nuts. It used to be a big thing in like the 80s where you had like bartenders and they had to know all these drinks at TGI
And-
Fridays.
And it was all like performative
Yes.
bartending
But
too.
it turned
Yeah.
into
And Elizabeth
garbage
Shue.
now.
Yeah, now it's like a Ruby Tuesdays. Or, you know. That's kind of interesting. That I mean, back in the day, TGI Friday. Well, it's just like if you look at an old picture of going on a plane and being a
Mhm.
flight attendant,
Yeah.
right? That was like you were like a wait staff in a fine dining restaurant when you used to go fly.
Mhm.
Now it's just like someone told me that
Babysitters.
one of the airlines is trying to get certified to have standing seats.
Oh God.
Well, you can stand the whole flight. Who's gonna do that? That's crazy.
I don't know. I think I want to say it was
There's
like
someone
Frontier.
out there that's gonna do it.
I mean, it makes perfect sense because they're just like we can get more people in there.
Okay.
But it's like it used to be you'd be sitting, you be having a drink. Like Joey Diaz talks about flying in like the 80s. He's like, it was great. You wore a suit, man. You put your suit on, you go fly a
Joey
plane.
What's
Diaz.
that for 6 hours sitting in a suit?
He's like you're having a drink. He's like you're gonna go around the corner. There's a bar. You're gonna go get another cocktail.
Yeah, Joey Diaz has a great story.
He's like now he's like they try to. He's like now they just try to put us in like sardines.
Yeah, Uncle Joey is my favorite.
It
One
was
of my
true,
favorite
man.
human
Back in the
beings.
day, like you had like
I
it's
love
like
Uncle
going on a
Joey.
train, man. Like you go look at old videos of
Yeah.
trains, and it was like it was luxury. Like you go and you're having an experience. I doubt it's like that anymore.
Nope.
Yeah, but can we tease? Can we tease the live episode, Chris?
Yeah.
You want to do?
Oh yeah, go ahead.
So speaking of Uncle Joey, we're gonna be recording live in Uncle Joey's neighborhood,
Oh God.
North Bergen, New Jersey.
Oh God.
You
There
know
we
what I'm
go.
saying? So now the viewers know there will be a live in-person episode coming very very soon.
Very soon, yeah, very soon. A couple weeks.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, hey,
Yeah.
ladies and gents, thank you for tuning in for this episode. We'll catch you again, most likely next week. All righty.
Peace
Peace.
out.